serve the gods. Yet again.
What's up everyone? Hope you all having a great day so far. Wraith here with the Doom Eternal update on the Ancient Gods DLC. Soon after the full trailer was released, Hugo Martin and Marty Stratton had an interview with PC Games talking about the DLC and included some important information about it. Unfortunately, I didn't know about the interview until after I uploaded my breakdown video, so it feels like I did that video for nothing as there were a few things I was off about. However, I will be talking about those things here in this video as an update. Before I get going, I always like to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you are new here and like Doom, then be sure to subscribe and set up notifications. Doing that will greatly help out the channel and motivate me to be more consistent with my uploads. Okay, let's get started. The Ancient Gods DLC is not too far away before we can get our hands on it. October 20th is enough time to wait for, and it'll give id Software time to make sure the DLC is complete and not missing anything. The trailer informed us of many new things of what we can expect, much like going to new locations and revisiting Urdak. Also the fact that we can now encounter more than one Marauder at a time, which will challenge the veteran and average player. Within the interview, the devs mentioned the DLC picks up a little after the level of Final Sin and takes the Slayer to a UAC research facility on the ocean. At that point, the Slayer is fully decked out and has everything upgraded, including weapons to runes. You may think that the DLC will be a breeze having a fully upgraded Slayer, but the devs have a few tricks up their sleeves to keep things interesting. The order of the levels will go as follows: the UAC research facility, Hell, then Urdak. This order does make a lot of sense based on some of my theories I've had in my breakdown video. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Anyway, the fact that the facility is the first location, and we already see all of the typical enemies towards the end of the campaign, it would make sense to introduce the two Marauders right off the bat. The whole idea of gradually making things more challenging in Doom has been an important concept ever since the original games. The first episode of Doom was pretty easy for the most part, and you didn't get all the guns by the end of the episode. By the fourth episode, you could get all the guns and encounter a ton more demons, including multiple bosses. That will be the same for the DLC. If we are encountering two Marauders in the first level, then by Urdak I could only imagine how challenging it will become. The devs mentioned that you may want to go down a difficulty of what you are used to, so if you play Nightmare all of the time, there's no shame in trying it out on Ultraviolence first in order to get used to the DLC. Another reason why you may want to go down a notch is because of the new enemies such as the Spirit and the Blood Angel. The Spirit is the summoner from Doom 2016, but of course it is a lot different this time around. It acts as a spirit that possesses other demons, and not only are they buffed, but they are resistant to their weak points from being destroyed and the ballista. For instance, if a Mancubus is possessed, you won't be able to blow off their arm cannons. Same thing goes for the Arachnotron and Revenant. You also won't be able to use the typical ballista and super shotgun combos, so you'll have to resort to other combos and weapons. Another thing is that they won't falter. This can be really challenging, as the falter system allows you a very small opening to unleash a devastating combo on a demon quickly before they recover, much like the Mancubus. It falters every time you use the grenade launcher. A buffed Mancubus will now force you to take it out the old-fashioned way and unleash everything you have at it quickly and efficiently before it annihilates you. Once you kill the possessed demon, you now have a small window to kill the spirit before it gets to possess another demon. The other part of the challenge is that the spirit can only be killed with the microwave mod on the plasma gun. Not only is it a homage to Ghostbusters, but the devs found that instead of giving us a new weapon in the DLC, we would now need to rely on some weapons or mods that we don't use as often. I'm sure Under the Mayo is totally fine with this. With those who use the microwave mod knows that you are slow to move when using it. So there's another problem with this enemy is that you may have to kill several buff demons and make sure you have enough ammo before killing it with the plasma gun, so that you don't have every demon in the room attacking you while using the mod. In all honesty, I'm totally okay with not getting a new weapon, as there's already a ton to use in the game. I think by having a new gun would completely diminish the concept of how the game is supposed to be played while being in the fun zone. The game is meant to be played like chess, and having something outside of the formula just wouldn't fit. Of course, that is completely my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, be sure to let me know down in the comments. The other new demon that was mentioned was the Blood Angel. For the most part, I wasn't too far off with calling it a Maker Angel turned evil, but now we have an official name for it. This guy is going to be a bit difficult based on its attacks and weaknesses. Other than the obvious attacks that it can do, such as shooting out some argent waves and energy bolts from its staff, its weakness is its head. I guess you could think of it as an upgraded Maker drone, but in this case it has a shield and will disable it just before doing an attack. So there are two ways of weakening it. You can attack it with everything you've got, which unfortunately would be the equivalent of attacking a Pinky head-on and wasting a ton of ammo. Or you could wait until it deactivates the shield, giving you a very small window to hit its head. You also won't be able to use the Ballista and Super Shotgun combo as it is resistant to those weapons. Hugo was mentioning in the interview that you would need to resort to using either the Precision Bolt or sticky bombs to land headshots, which of course will do way more damage than attacking it normally. Unlike the Marauder, you actually can attack it while the shield is activated, and of course there won't be any wolves sent after us, at least as far as we know. This demon will be categorized in the super heavy demons, so I'm sure we will encounter at least one of them first as a boss fight, and then several of them towards the end of the DLC. However, they may seem somewhat easy to take out alone, but having two of them with other heavy demons will really make things interesting. The other demon, or at least updates that the devs mentioned, was that there will be more ambient turrets throughout the DLC. If you remember the eyes in Necroval that were located near Calibus and at the top of the tower, they will make another appearance. They weren't super difficult, but will add an extra challenge when they are around other demons. Much like when you were in the Calibus area, after destroying two eyes, the pain elementals start to appear. So it could be something like that in the DLC. Hugo also said something about the tentacles having an update, so I wonder how that will look. Maybe they will look hairy and have some... yeah, I'll just stop there. After leaving the UAC facility, it's apparent now that we go back to Hell. In my breakdown video, I thought that the new area was a part of Argent-Deneur. However, I may be partially correct still. In the lore, it does mention that there is a place in Argent-Deneur called Ironfang. These are swamps and are on the opposite side of the planet from the Umbral Plains, where the pain elementals originated from. Within the lore, the planet was created and had a giant spear tear through it, and the wraiths emerged from it. We also know that Argent-Deneur was consumed by Hell, and the Dags took control of it in place of the original leadership. Another thing as well is within the campaign, Samuel Hayden tells the Slayer that the flow of Argent energy flows to the south of the planet. If Iron Fang is in the south, and that tower we see in the trailer is part of the spear, then it could be possible that the swamp is in Hell and Argent-Deneur, based on how Hell consumed that part of the planet. I may still be wrong, but it would be very interesting if that would be the case. Either way, the ending of the trailer would make it seem that there is a portal to Urdak, unless of course that spot has something to do with the Wraiths or other gods. The DLC is all about ancient gods, and honestly the Wraiths are really the only other gods that would make sense to be a part of it, unless it is mentioning something about the Father and the Makers. I also forgot to mention that we will be able to visit a place in heaven called the Equestrian Hold, which is a forest, and we will be able to discover parts of it. We see a small section of it in the trailer where the fighting happens with the Blood Angel. Throughout the DLC, there will be a lot of level design put in place that should blow us all away. The levels in the campaign were mind-blowing, and the team really did an excellent job with them. Other things that were mentioned in the interview were Hugo and Marty were disappointed that they didn't have enough attention on battle mode, mostly due to the pandemic. Honestly, I think battle mode could have really taken off if we didn't have the pandemic causing delays with other modes like Invasion or the DLC. There would have been a lot more improvements and balance issues sorted out. On top of that, Invasion would have been available a lot sooner. In all reality, it's totally okay when things get delayed, because then we will have a more solid release for these game modes, and the part 2 of the DLC will have the attention it deserves. All in all, the Ancient Gods DLC is going to be worth the wait, and something that will keep a lot of us busy for many more months to come. It won't be a typical expansion, and it will challenge the majority of us to create new strategies in the game. On top of that, recently it was made aware that the expansion can be a standalone without having to purchase the full game. I think that's a good way to get some more people involved with Doom, but I think it would make more sense to have the full game and play the campaign first so you can understand the DLC. Of course, for those who don't care about the lore or story, then by all means buying just the DLC would make some sense as well. The new demons and updates will keep us on our toes and punish us with the slightest mistake. Doom Eternal is not for the faint of heart, but if you put in the practice and can get in the fun zone, it will definitely be fun for sure. So far, that is the current update for the DLC, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. If so, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. I will continue to be doing videos on Doom Eternal for the time being, up until the DLC, and afterwards as well. Be sure to check out my social media accounts at RipNtear Gaming to see other things over there, and as another way to stay updated for the channel. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate the support on the channel. Hope you all have a good one, stay safe, and until next time, fellow Slayers, don't forget to rip and tear. Peace.
Fight.